Hello! Welcome in, everyone, to this week's episode of New Blood by Night. I'm your host, your storyteller, your dungeon mistress. Or, as Villain has so lovingly coined for me, what's up? It's your bitch, Void Doll. Alright, for our brief recap, I'm going to volley this over to Spectre Zero. Can you give us a rundown, brief, for stream? And then we'll dive right into tonight's chapter.
All right, so last off, we start our story. We had an incident at the skate park. Aurora, having seen a vision, realizes one of her brand spanking new coterie members is in trouble. Desperately, she searches along with Stone for good old sweet Robbie, our favorite Kindred dentist, soon to be dentist. I'm hoping, knocking on wood. And sure enough, she's able to stop him from killing someone outright, but he has hunted on territory that is not his and that has not gone unnoticed. The kindred of the area gather around, and after a back and forth between Aurora, she agrees to meet with their leader to see if they can work something out. Afterwards, we skedaddle to Damien, Azriel, and Mia, who arrive at the armory. And boy, oh boy, does that become very interesting as they're walking around, noticing things here and there. Azriel having a few, I'm going to leave the details for y'all to check out on the YouTube. Azriel notices a few things, but decides to investigate further. And after possibly a body, some disciplines being heard, he becomes lost. As this is going around, Damien uncovers another clue, or maybe the clue finds him, of his past. And as he talks with the shadows of this past, revelations about his background begin to surface as something familiar begins to stir. Realizing that he continues to pull on the thread, and just before he's on the cusp of revelation, he realizes something very important, and that is his coterie member is in deep trouble, very lost in the woods. And they encounter some supernatural beings. For all of you who love those V20 stuff, check out the VOD. I'm sure you'll check out last episode. You'll appreciate those tidbits. And at the end of the day, while Azriel gives his findings to Damien also strikes a deal that, who knows, could be good, or it could lead to something pretty awful. Meanwhile, we go back to the church, and there, Aurora sits and watches as Robbie discusses with this very ethereally beautiful priest. And Mori coming in, reassuring Aurora, being the protector, the awesome assassin that she is, vigilantly watching and waiting to see if anything happens. But nothing does. In fact, the priest is very friendly. Who has even heard of a kindred priest? Interesting. So as his business concludes with Robbie, Aurora and him have an exchange. And oh, is it an exchange? Something that could be useful, could be hurtful. And at the end of it all, the possibility of potential territory, a place to truly call their own, is brought forth, but also an exchange in order to save Robbie, or else we'd have to burn down the church, and we didn't want to do that. Or did we? And I think that's about it. Did I miss anything?
Nope, I think it's good. You can have a storyteller willpower for your brief recap. Thank you. They'll make sure you add yours.
Sorry.
In this chapter, gosh, where do you want to start?
Aren't Damien and Azriel on their way to Elysium?
Yeah, but we're currently grabbing like body parts and we're being watched by something, but we don't know what.
True.
We don't know what.
I guess do we want to start with like
Up to you guys.
seeing what you guys find, or
Sure. Sure, because Elysium is on the way. We're supposed to go to Elysium.
true? And also it might be what we find out might be relevant. Who knows? Are y'all buckled in and ready?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Methinks
Let's
so.
go. All right.
Okay. Then deep in the woods, we begin tonight's chapter. Azriel and Damien, you have gathered as much as you're going to gather of the remains of that person in the woods. Mia has stood watch diligently. She has motioned for the both of you to hurry a few times. Her gun is in her palm, and she is tracking the woods, clocking something that perhaps the both of you heard. But she clearly has not seen, and neither have either of you. I need both of you, once you link up with Mia, moments before you head out, to roll a wits and awareness, please.
Real quick question, too. Was there any part of the corpse that remained that we weren't able to get a hold of?
The missing pieces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Question. Do I get any sort of circumstantial bonus due to Eyes of the Beast still being active?
You'll get a 2 dice, actually.
Okay.
I got 6 ducks.
Okay. I'm going to use one of those willpowers I was given. Storyteller willpowers, because this feels important to me, the player.
What do you mean?
That's much better. I got 1 less. I got 5. Because I had a bestial.
The both of you catch a flash of blonde hair, thick sunglasses, perched high in a tree, watching. She seems to be eating something. You can smell with these senses. It's actually what draws you to look up, is whatever she was eating was raw and fresh. She is licking her fingers clean as both of you see Agatha
Samiel is going to lean over to Azriel. And he's going to hand him his body parts.
The grocery sack bags.
We're gonna be like a caravan, you understand?
Yes,
Mia
sir.
takes point back towards. You take the middle. I take the back.
Okay.
Let's get moving.
As
And he's just going to look up at Agatha as he gives these instructions.
As the two of you pass below the tree that she's in, you do hear her voice. Are the three of you, is this a common practice? You find where people have been buried and you desecrate the burial? Is that your normal?
Someone has to be the godless devil to do it.
I disagree. I think the godless devil is the one who put them in the ground.
Me, no. I'm just a sweet summer child that would never commit such an atrocity.
Then for certain this is not your kill.
I can say it's not, no. If it were, I'd claim it.
So then why did you dig it up? She leans a little forward.
Science is fun. I like forensics, so maybe I'll make a stew out of it when I'm done.
And this stew comes after you finish using. So what do you plan to do with your pieces?
Just curious who this person was and their significance. Purely scientific.
Interesting. And her eyes flash behind the sunglasses. Well, don't let me stop you.
Oh, by all means, we were just about to leave. Riveting conversation, Mademoiselle.
I look forward to your choice, she calls after you. And then you hear something move. And she's no longer in the tree. And her voice kind of has this ambience, this filter, this diffusion. I look forward to knowing if you are in or out.
His shoulders are going to like ease a bit from more of like a standoffish, ready to tussle stance to like more relaxed.
Let's go back to the shop and grab our shit. Elysium awaits.
I don't think I like that woman.
A little unsettling, huh?
And extremely.
That's fair, sweetheart.
And Mia's gonna cut a glance over to you, Azriel. What do you look like in this moment?
Azriel looks tired. It's been a long night. It's this past couple. He's been going through a lot, and he's just trying to figure out where he is himself.
Right there, pal. Look a little burnt.
You know, just a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot of things
Understatement
weighing
of
on
the
me.
century. Don't. Hey, man. Get it. We've all got a lot going on. But the best thing is you're still alive and you weren't chopped to bits.
Yes, I must thank you again. Oh,
Well,
let's get out of
Well.
this damned forest.
I guess that's enough for one night for you.
I didn't like the confrontation with those spirits. Felt quite a bit powerless.
We can all feel powerless at any point in time, but don't worry. We've all had those times.
He's gonna pat Azriel on the shoulder.
Let's go back.
Okay.
And so the three of you make it back to the parking lot. Sounds of the forest are still nearby. That tin squared hardware store front shop is a looming presence. You guys took Azriel's truck, correct?
Correct.
Where is Thanatos?
He would have been left in the back.
Okay. He isn't in the truck bed.
Thanatos, where are you, boy?
Nothing.
There's an immediate sense of panic on Azriel's face as he starts looking everywhere for his beloved dog.
Roll an intelligence and investigation.
Can I blood surge to help me out because this feels important?
Sure.
I'm gonna get a little more hungry too. I am gonna use a willpower, because that was the worst roll I've ever had. Okay, that's a lot better. That is 7 6.
Where do you look specifically?
So I started the truck and then I start going like if he hopped out the back where he would have gone.
Okay. There is a part of the tarp that's been lifted. And it looks like pieces of the amalgam has been chewed on. The Thanatos is not in the bed of the truck.
I'll slowly go out, still calling for him, Thanatos. I'm just
Where do you
around
look
like
next?
the store.
You look around the store. Okay, you do run into a very grumpy possum that hisses and then flops to its side like it's dead. But no Thanatos.
I'll use my feral whispers on to talk to the possum.
Okay. Does that require a roll? Remind me.
It does. I do not get more hungry. Here, I'll post it.
Perfect.
Good old feral whispers. Hey, you playing dead there. Have you seen a dog?
The possum is just whispering, I'm dead, 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 I'm dead.
You're really gonna be dead if you don't answer my questions.
It makes a squeak and plays more dead.
I can hear you.
Go ahead and roll an animal ken and charisma.
Do you want any minuses for how low my humanity is?
Animals don't really.
Don't care?
Yeah, I mean they kinda, but like.
I figured just to ask. It's
I'm
up
looking.
to
Let me
you.
look at your. I don't see anything in your flaws, so no.
That is 5 sucks.
Okay. He intimidated by your threat. Takes his animal brain a moment to catch up, and then he pops up and is like, "Yeah. I saw a dog and a squirrel. They went that way." And he motions with his tail. The hiking trail, you can no longer make out what the sign says. It's wooden, carved. You think the word says something about sunset.
I'm not gonna waste any more time with the possum, and I'm just gonna go straight in the direction.
As you leave, you hear the
Oh,
possum
sorry.
scurry away. Damien, remind me, was Zero with you?
Yes.
You do not find him in any of your pockets.
Little bastard. He's gonna go inside up to Isabel. And be like, hey,
You
you
got out
look
of
at your
here in a
camera
hurry.
system. I listen, familiar faces in familiar places.
She squints and then looks over your shoulder at Mia. I don't want to get in the middle of this. She motions you around
No.
the corner, lifting the glass table so you can come in the back. It's like a glass flat table that's on the counter right by the cash register that she opens up.
Mm-hmm.
And then she takes you really old. The door itself feels like it's plastic. The computer looks like a 90s computer. But that's just aesthetics. It starts up immediately. It's just in a really... You don't know why Isabel likes this ugly casing, but the computer is a beast. And there are 10 cameras altogether. So what are you looking for?
What he's going to do is he's slowly going to use the footage to just scroll back in time to see if at any point through on any of the cameras
Okay.
that Zero is scurrying about or has left his clothing whatsoever in or outside of the shop.
Okay, I would like you to roll for me technology and intelligence, please. And then Azriel, roll a wits and awareness.
That is 4 sucks for me.
Okay, and Damien, what'd you get?
I got 4.
Alright. Azriel, you find down Sunset Trail tracks. Large, medium-sized dog. It looks like at a basic trot, there's a really unfortunate smell the further you hike down this narrow trail. It opens up to the shoulder of the trail where hikers would probably take load-offs on the benches that have been... They're old, these benches, but they've been built out of wood stumps. Probably could seat several people. The trail of the animal breaks off here. And on one of the benches is a piece of the amalgamation. A bone with very small amounts of flesh, like it's been hacked up and spit.
I'm not gonna even waste my time looking at that, and I'm going trying to track down Thanatos.
Okay, you are led back into the woods.
I'm going for my best boy.
It is quite the perimeter. And the edge that you walk, it's not distinct at first, this trail. But then it comes into acute focus. On your left side is the woods that have been touched by oblivion. Not necessarily physically, but in a spiritual sense. All of the woods to your left, and this is like a game trail that you're walking now. It's where everything just went down between you and Damien and the spirits. And on your right, it is the woods untouched. The natural elegance of them in the dark, a beauty and a wonder. And you follow Thanatos' track along this game trail until he branches off and makes his own, all the way around. The trail leads you back to the parking lot and your truck. But no Thanatos.
Thanatos,
You whistle,
this isn't funny.
you call. The door to the building opens up, and Mia says, "Hey, you're gonna want to come look at this."
I'll come.
Meanwhile, Damien, you see the moment the amalgamation moves, twisting under the tarp. Slow. Barely noticeable at first. And then Thanatos lunges with a snarl and a yap. And he attacks. And several moments later, after making this howl and cry, Zero comes loping out of the woods. Bloop, 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 bloop. The dog and the rodent discuss. You can see Zero gesturing wildly and then motioning to Isabel's hovel. You think you can make out he's calling it her hovel. The earbuds that you have on, it's really hard to decipher any of the noise. Even though Isabel has top tier gear, there's some kind of EMF. That high pitch. When the amalgamation twitches again, Thanatos attacks it. And then Zero crawls in to the truck bed after Herculean effort. And he has... where he gets it, you aren't sure. But he takes the taser and he just stabs the amalgamation with it. For a solid, 5 minutes. And then there's a moment where Agatha shows up. Like there's a skip in the recording. She's talking to what looks to be both animals. Zero's seated on top of Thanatos' head, holding onto his ears. And at one point he gestures wildly, which he tends to do. And Thanatos growls. And then the video glitches. And there is no Agatha. And the animals are not in the truck bed. And there are several empty moments of airtime. With some fast forwarding, you get to the part where Agatha's sitting on the truck bed talking, or sitting on the tailgate talking with you, moving about the scene. On a different camera, you do see the moment. Zero and Thanatos are dragging a large chunk of the creature into the woods. And there's quite a bit of distortion. The shadows are too long. There's fuzz, like an old 80s film around the edges. Black lines that roll up and down. And behind you, Isabel says, that's weird. My rig isn't... My rig should be able to see this in night vision, but this looks like trash. And that's about the point that Azriel steps in to the tiny surveillance room. Mia's the first to break the silence, looking at Isabel. Do you have game trails? Well, I mean, my dad has them. Good. Can you pull up? And Isabel leaves to go pull up the videos. What do the two of you do?
Tell me you have something for me, Damien.
There's a whole lot of something. But the short version is that it started to move. Thanatos attacked, subdued it. Zero assisted with a taser. They spoke with Agatha. Then they started dragging a piece of it out into the forest, a large piece of it, which isn't good. We need it all intact, or else this whole plan is foobar. God damn it.
Makes sense with what I've found. I followed a trail all the way around the place, back to the car, but I didn't find anyone. And you can tell Az is just like twitching.
Alright, we'll find them. I understand you're worried, but we'll find them.
And he's gonna follow after Isabel.
Az will follow you as well.
You find Isabel in the storage room that opens up into what feels like an above-ground basement filled with things for hunting. Large bear traps, silver shavings, lots of religious iconography hanging from the walls. Okay, I looked and Game Trail went dead about 30 minutes ago. But right before that, this is what I got. And she hands over an iPad, and playing on the screen, there is a bright, glowing orb that approaches Thanatos and the large chunk of the amalgamation. It gets so bright as the orb wisps down towards the amalgamation that it seems to glow like daylight. Instinctually, Damien and Azriel, you squint as there's a flash, and the trail cam goes dead.
Better than nothing. All right, well, we'll go out to the trail. We'll inspect. We'll find them. Isabel, could you load up my stuff in the truck?
Sure.
Usual means giant-ass duffel bag. Big enough for 2 people.
She does her best. You know she's not aware of the amalgamation or anything that you are, really. You still want her to load the back of your truck? Mia is looking at you like, the fuck?
Like at this time, like he's gonna come a bit to sense.
Be like, it looks a little heavy. Do you mind if I take it the rest of the way?
Oh, sure, I guess. Yeah, no problem. She'll just hand the heavy bags to you. Mia exhales, takes the other side of it, just eyeball slapping you, like, ugh.
He just gives her a look like, yeah, I know, I wasn't thinking.
And he looks at Isabel as he's taking the bag. And you got the rounds, right?
Yeah. Of course. Everything you need's in the bag. In the ammo boxes.
I don't want to know how you got them, but I bet it was a hell of a time.
My dad. You know. Him and his friends. They like to hunt with different ammo. Shrugs. They're still out by the lake looking for something. Something big. Oh, I forgot to tell you. They caught something, but it got out of the trap.
Probably best.
Yeah. Anyways,
Either way,
it's good to see the two of you together again. She gives you a little flash of a grin.
yeah, you be safe. There's weird stuff going on out there.
Of course, no problem.
And as he puts the bag, like, into the bed, he's gonna pull out the sawed-off shotgun, pop it open, and just load up 2 of the dragon breath shells.
Time to hunt.
Time to hunt.
Take me where you went, Azriel. Be my guide.
I will lead the way.
All right. So you head out onto the trail. The same diffusion, hazy feeling. You walk the line. On your left, everything that's been touched by oblivion, and on your right, a thriving, nighttime enchanted wood. Only this time, I need you both to make a wits and awareness, and if you are using Eyes of the Beast, you get a circumstance bonus.
I would like to stop using Eyes of the Beast and use Sense the Unseen at the moment, unless I can use both simultaneously.
I'll allow you to use both.
I'll use Eyes of the Beast so I can start seeing in the dark as well.
Okay.
Forget to go after.
So you said Wits and Awareness?
Mm-hmm.
Was it 2 dice bonus for the Eyes of the Beast, you said?
Correct.
That's good. 7 sucks.
Yeah, it's good. 5. Yeah.
5 and 7.
Mhm.
Okay, that same tiny creek. That same one. Only a little further north. You find Puppy Trail. Thanatos' paws. And you take it upon yourselves to follow. And it's a solid, like half an hour up this trail of time wasted. Mia decided to stay at the truck because there is a flesh monster in the back. You find Thanatos, where the stream widens and gets a little deeper so that it's a small river. And at his side is Zero. And the two of them are soaking wet and mildly confused.
What the hell were you thinking?
I was so worried.
All that answers you are animalistic whines, chitters, and grunts. And neither of you sense your blood in either of these creatures.
I look over to Damien to kind of gauge his reaction.
It's kind of a look of bewilderment and a little bit of annoyance.
Have to do this all over again.
Do we sense the amalgamation, or is it with them, or is it gone?
It's gone. To approach your animals, need you to roll charisma and animal can.
Holy moly,
Okay.
that is a messy critical. That's 10 sucks though.
Got a 5.
Okay? As the both of you step forward, neither animal sprints. There's only a minimal recollection. Ears flick back. They step backwards. They kind of curl up, look ready to spring. The both of them do. You make it. The moment your hand reaches out to stroke fur, they calm. There's recognition. You do not sense yourself in them at all. And then beyond, with your wits and awareness, with your sense the unseen and your eyes of the beast, there is something supernatural. And it is watching, and it steps out of the trees, and at first you don't recognize it. And then prowling closer is Nina. And in one snap of a moment, she shifts, her body elongating, her fur ripping and tearing away, her face dropping to the ground, only to decay rapidly, revealing a woman.
Like, who was it?
Nina, the wolf that's been hanging out with Fenrir.
Interesting. I had a feeling there was something different to you.
If I had gotten here, A moment later, Gaia would have claimed them. And you can see that her shoulder down on against, like, in between her breasts is all ripped open. And she's, like, covered in hives, like she's been attacked by poison ivy. She doesn't have a stitch on. She is very natural, so furry in places that are not beauty standards of the average woman. But she seems very comfortable, and she is quite pregnant. You owe me, lick.
It's been a while since I've owed anyone anything.
Her eyes in this form are still lupine yellow with flecks of amber, and they are quite wild.
What happened?
You're running with spirits. Called them. And your amalgamation, your abomination that you crafted, started to react to power far beyond your feeble understanding. And behind her, Fenrir's like, he's like, I'm still a dog. I'm just a dog. Like, kind of leans out, like, hey, I'm a dog. I'm a dog. Nina just rolls her eyes. He doesn't say anything, but he just whines. He's trying to diffuse the situation, because Nina is just radiating malice and pregnant rage, you know? I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but it's a thing.
Listen, I didn't use any sort of power whatsoever out here. Wasn't me.
It was maybe me.
I am here
Are you-
for my kin. His pack I protect.
And if you don't mind my asking, who is this kin?
She points at Fenrir.
Makes sense. So are you like some sort of shifter, some monster?
Yes. Just alive, unlike you.
Lucky to have a beating heart. So what is the terms and conditions of this favor that I owe? Or will you collect at a later date?
She rubs her belly. And is quiet. For a moment, you think she might be trying to figure out the word. And then she speaks in this lyrical language to Fenrir, and he just whines back at her. When she makes eye contact with the two of you, she starts forward. And when she walks into the river, both Fenrir and Zero, like, get out of her way. Like, and she cuts past the both of you, so she's speaking at you as she comes towards you and then past you. She says, you will help me with this child of mine.
I mean, I don't even know if I'll be alive by the time that child is born.
Figure it out.
Oh, exactly.
right.
Do you want us to help with your child?
She's quiet for a minute. Roll a... What's an insight?
That is 3 sucks.
Damien?
Oh, I thought it was just Azriel. Sorry.
No, both
Wits
of you.
and insight.
Yeah.
Got it. That is all blood dice, so this is going to go well.
It was almost all blood dice for me as well. Panic made me real hungry.
Just 2.
Okay, you know she's nervous. There's a big worry, and you're not really sure. Maybe this is her first. Maybe that's why she's worried. You don't know, but it's kind of stringing everything together. You're like, wait a minute, this is a wolf. Hold on, wait. And then she just plainly states it. My children will not be born lupus. I will need a place. Shelter, food, schooling. All things you used to do in your previous life. She shrugs, or I will simply... And Fenrir barks. She turns and growls, and he barks again. She says, I will take whatever I need. And he barks some more. And she just huffs. And sits in the grass, because she's tired. And she motions to the both of you like you're stupid. Are you going to hurry, please? And then you catch on. She's telling you to ghoul your animals.
I will go ahead and cool my boy.
She leans against the tree, closes her eyes, and exhales like you're all stupid and annoying. But I think she's just tired.
You got a name for the thing yet?
There are 3 of
Like
them.
he's asking.
Oh, 3. Wonderful. Do you have a name for the litter?
She nods.
The lot?
It will depend on their markings. But I will name them after the spirits. And Fenrir barks. And she says, I am not naming any of them Peter. I hate that name. And Fenrir's just like,
All right, you can name whatever the hell you want. But if you tell me the names, I can get you whatever you want. Money, home, schooling, whatever.
that is what I need. I saved your children. You will save mine.
That seems like a fair request.
It is a fair request.
Lucky enough,
Yes.
when I was training in medicine a little bit, I can help if that's an issue as well.
I'll make sure to,
Like he busts out his phone. He just makes a note to himself.
yeah, I can do this. Take like a couple hours. Names are important, though. Doesn't matter what you name it. Should rename this one to fucking idiot.
And he motions to Zero.
Zero's like blinking, and he's like, "What is it? What? Oh my God! I saw a light. I saw a light, Damien. There was a light. I was dying. I was dying." Throws himself into the water, starts to float away.
He just picks him up in the tiny creek.
Always the dramatics.
There was a light, and it was a voice, and I was gonna go, but I stayed. I stayed for you. And Thanatos is just yipping and whining, and was like, "It was awful. It was terrible. That rodent. He was like, 'You're now my mountain.' I didn't like it at all, but I felt exhilaration.
tried to help. I don't know. I'm still panicking. I want to chase my tail. I don't know. Ah!
Azriel's just patting him and holding him, like hugging up like real close, and it's just like, it's okay. It's okay. We're okay. And he'll
Go on.
he'll turn to Nina. Thank you for saving my son.
She waves you off. And Fenrir like yips again because she's still injured, and she responds in a lyrical way, and then snarls at him.
I'll go over and try to offer first aid.
She does snarl at you, and it's really scary sounding. It's like a big growl vocalization. It's quite throaty. But
I'll just put my hands out.
Roll charisma,
Try
animal
to seem as
ken,
harmless.
and then you can roll
Okay.
intelligence medicine.
The animal can. That's 5 sucks.
Okay, she's still making that throaty vocalization as wolves do, but she's not killing you. And the ears they're forward and flicking. They're not just flat, so...
Can I add my specialty to this for the medicine roll?
What's your specialty?
First aid.
Yeah, I'll give you an extra dice bonus for that. Do you have your first aid kit with you, or is it in the truck?
It's probably back in the truck.
Okay.
Going to
So do you take the time to go back to the truck, then come back to her?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll run to the truck real quick, grab it, come back, and that is a 6 sucks. So roll fantastically.
All right, you disinfect things, triple antibiotic, get them wrapped up. She's grumpy the whole time. But you can see, like, it looks like Poison Ivy, like, tried to strangle her. Yeah. And, while Azriel is gone, Damien, she asks you why you need their names. For what purpose exactly?
So everything's in a database, right? And once names are entered into a database, it becomes a permanent thing within governmental and federal servers. What I can do is manipulate those names after they're born and essentially enter them into a system. Or not, that's all your preference. Once they're in the system, they'll be registered. And once they're registered, I can apply funds to those names from generous benefactors, if you will.
Okay. She gives you the closest common language name that would mean the same as what she's going to name them. And it is Luna, Atlas, and Orion.
Not the strangest names I've heard, but it can be done.
He'll enter that in his document.
Satisfied with that, she shifts back to a wolf, and you can see like big grooves where she's been bitten into and clawed into in her lupus form. Ah, man, she's just tired. She just is tired. And then Azra returns, is able to shave areas of the fur so that you can mend her best you can. And then 3 dogs and a ferret later, you guys are on your way back to the truck. Nina does push her thoughts at both of you now that you know she can speak. And she makes those same guttural, throaty vocalizations, but it processes as like words in your mind. She doesn't like this amalgamation idea. She thinks it's stupid. The amalgamation is evil, is what she says. It's wrong and evil. And if not for Fenrir, she probably would have destroyed all of you. But now, you're going to help her, so she won't destroy you. Unless you do something and she needs to destroy you. She's also hungry and would like to stop somewhere to get food. And she's tired. And she's sitting in the middle. And Fenrir and all the other boys are in the back. So even though she's complaining the whole time, she literally sits in your lap, Azriel. And then she's big enough that she's wolf. She lays across the both of you. She's on both of your laps as you're driving.
I think my natural reaction is just slowly start petting her. It's not like intentional, it's just kind of the reaction of big dog on lap.
Mm-hmm. Roll a... Actually, for the audience at home, how is your character feeling about this? We'll start with Az.
He's actually happy to be able to use his medicine skills that he never thought he'd get to use in the past little bit, and to be able to help somebody that's helped him. And he's just happy that Thanatos is okay. And he just has a soft spot for animals. Even though she's not an animal, but he's happy about this. He's okay with trying to help her out. There's some softness in him that this speaks to. Reminds him a little bit of his humanity.
Make a d10 roll, please.
That's a 10.
Okay, hold on to that. How does Damien feel?
I think for Damien at this point, the puzzle for him is still completely an enigma. And it's something that the more pieces he gets for it, the more he finds missing. And for him, there's still a large chunk missing, and with that, I wouldn't say it's a sense of emptiness, but it's a sense of genuine frustration that the closer he gets, he's still incredibly far away. And each time he gets further away, or he finds that there's another piece, he just wants to punch a hole in the wall.
Okay. And so, as you drive and leave the forest, for Azriel at least, something incredible happens. You gain a point of humanity. For Damien, the frustration ebbs and flows in a way that it's like a lightning strike. There are seconds where it's so hot and explosive, it feels like you just snap out and destroy the steering column in front of you, and then it eases. There's a feeling that's trying to beckon you, that's in the cab of the truck. That's this warm and soft feeling, but Mia, who's in the back of the truck, you do catch glances of her, and you remember the spoken and unspoken promises that you've made. Existence can't continue as a monster. And she looks just as dreary and pissed off as you. The pack of you make your way towards downtown Elysium. We're gonna take our first toilet break and then be right back. We'll meanwhile from there and slide over to the other 2 pack members. Okay, and we are back, sliding across the city to Aurora and Mori. I believe your negotiations have concluded with the bishop, unless there's anything else you would like to do while at the church.
I have something, but does Mori have anything first that they'd like to do?
I mean, not really. Like, her, immediate thought is she has already scouted out the area. I would like to look over it once again with Sense the Unseen and see if there's anyone invisible kind of stalking about.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Will do. Let's see. Wits and Aspect, which, isn't the biggest pool, but it's something. Ooh, all successes and the crit. So it's a crit in my blood dice, though. What does that mean?
If it just works as a normal crit. If it's, or technically
Cool.
messy critical, I think, yes. Or is it a
Yeah, it
messy
just
Okay,
means
so-
like your beast is a bit more like involved with it rather
Yeah.
than just being like
And
a
I think
standard
that makes
one.
sense.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit more like evil kitty, protective nature, meow meow meow, for Mori.
Yeah,
at
pretty much.
least. But yeah, there are several. there are several invisible kindred that are keeping watch. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got 7. That's why I was asking.
And you think that they've been tracking you and vice versa. Yeah.
All right. So they can also see invisible?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's 3. 2 up high and 1 that's like walking the perimeter, like of inside the building, just moving from room to room. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also
Good
like
to know.
Mori is only familiar with this so much, but it seems like there's a lot of blood ritual markings that the normal eye wouldn't see. But Auspex, you can see like the drawn circles all over the church. Yeah.
Good to know. If they can see me while we're like invisible, I'm just making eye contact with each of them, letting them know I see you as well.
You get like a little nod from each of them. There's one guy that you're like, oh my god, you are definitely a Nosferatu. Like, he's very terrifying. He almost looks like a Wendigo. The way his arms are too long, and like he's got his skull that protrudes up like broken antlers. And then half of his face, there's the protrusions sort of turned into like this almost elk looking. It's very Rorschach painting, just yeah. So
Good to know.
yeah, then there's one that's like really quite handsome. Not sure what clan. You don't really get any vibes, but he shoots you a wink. And some finger guns. Like, hey.
Some finger guns. Yeah, Mori
some
would
finger
return the
guns.
finger guns, but yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
He's the one that probably gets the closest to you, and like when you do turn to look at him again, he's like measuring where you would be on his body, which is like below his chest. and then he like scurries away. So,
Yeah, if you got like close enough, Mori would be like, "Yeah, I get it. I'm short." Doesn't change what I can do.
Yeah,
Damn right.
he doesn't ever get close enough for the two of you to like communicate, but yeah, he seems like the fun-loving one, and then the other one that just nods at you seems like all business, and then the other one's pretty frightening and also business. So, there's that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep,
There's
that's pretty much it.
There's lots of like evidence of like people that come here for worship and shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, sorry. Part of the reason why I'm doing this check, do any of them look like they don't belong here, or like I don't know, insecure about being here?
The humans, or the kindred?
The kindred.
No. They're all in uniform.
Okay, yeah, no, perfect.
Like, even the Nosferatu's uniform's been, like, adjusted so that, it's like, hey, my name's Bob. Like,
My name, Bob.
yeah, like, yeah. You definitely work here. With a 7, yeah. You're like, I see
Okay,
you.
yeah,
And
no.
they see you, and you see them. Anyways, they just think it's fun that you're a tiny bodyguard. That you're very, very tiny. You're very,
Mhm.
very,
So tiny at
very,
4'10".
very tiny. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. I just wanted to check and see if like we had unwanted guests.
All right. There is something Aurora would like to do. First of all, as she's kind of calms down, stops shaking, she looks at Stone and she touches his face, and she says, "I'm okay. I'm okay." And she's kind of like looking at him, but like trying to like reassure Whiskey more than anything. So even though it's set, it's like she's trying to reassure the other or anyone who would seem concerned for her.
Okay, roll a charisma and leadership. I see what you're doing.
Me? Nah. It's fine. Alright, so that's gonna be 3 and 3. I am hungry. And then, oh yeah. Extra 1. Okay, that is 1, 2, 4 successes.
4 suck.
Yeah, 4 sucks.
4 suck. All right. You swear for a heartbeat of a second. Those violet eyes take on kind of a golden glow. And he touches your face. And it's so soft. And then it's gone.
She just closes her eyes and like leans into it for just a brief moment, and she's like, "Okay, I got an idea." And she texts Mori, and she says, "Bring Robbie out to Hanson. I'll meet you there in a moment." And she looks to Stone, and she says, "This might go bad. But I have an idea. I need you to watch I don't know how much of my senses I'm going to be able to have available on me, but you might have to watch my body." And she is going to kind of look around to see if there's like a more secluded place.
Yeah, there's a gazebo on the side of the church. That's
And
secluded enough. It's surrounded by mid-sized shrubbery, and then there's a maze beyond that, but it's sectioned, it's blocked off. So if you jumped over the cones and the fence that's blocking the rose maze, you could go in there, which is very secluded, but that would be technically trespassing, but it's up to you.
like in a place that's easy to reach, secluded, I guess.
The
So.
gazebo's the easiest because it's just before that maze, and it's got
Alright.
it's got okay shelter.
Okay, that's what matters. And so she pulls him to there, and she says, I need you to have my back, okay? And she's gonna use share the senses. Because of this. With Killian's blood. With Killian having taken her blood. So, by reaching out with their mind, the vampire can tap into the senses of another mortal or vampire, seeing, hearing, and feeling what they do. The user still retains their own perceptions and is still aware of their own surroundings, though the effect requires some getting used to. The user decides whether to tap into only one, some, or all of the target senses.
Oh my god, you're gonna try
When
and
you-
find whiskey, aren't you?
Hold on. I hadn't actually thought of that.
Oh,
It was actually even more dangerous because Killian with her blood, didn't he?
oh, so you're gonna try it with Killian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's exciting.
Yep. So it's a roll of resolve and aspects. Difficulty 3. This difficulty I do need to do a This difficulty can go up depending on the distraction, distance, and since I'm near the church, and other factors such as the amount of the user's blood that remains of the target. So I'm doing it now while it's fresh.
Oh, okay, make your rolls, and then what does he gotta roll?
Okay, so the target usually remains unaware of the intrusion, but since the unseen can allow the passenger to be noticed. To get rid of an unwanted rider, the victim must beat the intruder at a wits and resolve versus wits and resolve roll. An aspect user thrown out this way cannot make another sharing attempt until the next night. So basically, he has to notice me first. And you decide the difficulty, so it might work, it might not work.
Damn.
I
No,
don't
that's
know.
great. Go ahead.
All right, so resolves and aspects. Yeah. She does not very much. She does not really not keen on this guy, but she's gonna make it count. Ooh! Oh my god! I got a messy critical, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I rolled really well. It's 9.
9 suck?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Invested in resolve, baby.
And how long are you gonna do this?
She's gonna just go in and see what happens. This is her first time, so I will say, if you want to raise the difficulty because this is her first time, that's totally fine.
9 is insane. What do you mean?
I have a lot of I've been slowly but surely investing in certain dice pool. Plus the higher tier gives me the +1 dice, so. So for those of you at home, Aurora does have 4 resolve and 3 in aspects, plus she gets the +1 because of the higher. If you guys decide to play the game, if you in a higher tier, we get the extra dice, and I crit in one. I crit in just one of those, like 2 dice, therefore automatically giving me a 4. This is actually one of the highest I've ever rolled for Aurora. No, wait, no. When I was fighting it out with Damien, I had to use a willpower for that one though. I think I used 2.
Okay. There is an all-consuming feeling of other. A blanket that wraps your senses. You were allowed, and you are allowed, to linger at the church as long as you would like. At this point, with all of the poking around, pacing, walking, I would say you're, an hour longer, maybe, at the church?
Yeah.
Okay. Killian is somewhere a little cold. He isn't alone. There are fluttering feelings in his chest and an ache. It feels this ache like sorrow. And then your eyes roll into the back of your head, and your mouth drops open, and your spine goes loose and rigid in this unnatural pose. And you're looking through Killian's eyes. Seated in a chair in front of him is a Kindred. And this Kindred is injured, has been bitten several times. And Killian, it sounds like your own voice, but it isn't, says, I hate to do this, but you have to understand that there are rules, and you cannot break them. Breaking them bears a consequence. And he's very calm and polite. That sorrow fires off again as he moves forward, and he's got a cleaver in hand, and he takes the cleaver up to the Kindred's fingers, what are left of them, and he just cuts them like carrots. Innocence are our reason. And he cuts a little bit higher into the actual palm, and the Kindred is hissing and crying out. His bonds that the Kindred is fighting against are like burning into his skin. They seem to have some kind of supernatural pretense. And Killian is just cutting him like a carrot up the arm. To take the life of an innocent is to bear an impossible sin. These hands committed murder, and so you shall no longer bear arms. And he cuts the Kindred all the way up to his shoulders until his torso is just a stub. And Killian moves over to this wide sink, drops the cleaver in it, and then starts praying. As the Latin words tumble out of his mouth, there is a bloodlust that rises and another great sorrow that thrums through him. And the Kindred starts to complain and hiss. And Killian turns after he's washed his hands. And he's stripped down to the very base of his priest robes. And he's listening to this Kindred just wax on. And finally he goes, interesting. Well, let's have you discuss that with God then. And in a wicked fast move, he breaks the leg of the chair and runs the Kindred's chest through with it, putting the Kindred in torpor. And then he lays him on the basement floor. Says the wicked are always punished. and you bear your sins. And he stops, and he looks around. And he does a full circle. And then in the corner of a room, an entity that was invisible steps from the shadows. And he says,
Caspian, are we alone?
Caspian says,
Aurora,
yes, sir. And Killian, does another spin. And he looks at the kindred that's in torpor, sees his assets. And he knocks on the door's like unlocked, and there's like a spell that's let go, and then he steps through, and he's still he's like strange. Curious. Most curious. Yeah. And he moves to a subterranean office, bedroom, where he disrobes, and there's a bathtub waiting for him that he steps into. It's built into the floor of this room.
there's no mirrors, right?
None.
Okay, God, thank God, because Aurora was like, I'm just gonna close my eyes.
None. That you feel his clothes, your clothes dropping, and as he sinks into the water, he goes all the way, so that his head goes under, and he's just under the water for several minutes. And there's this weight in his chest, and that sorrow hasn't left, and the longing is still there. And then when he leaves the water, he looks back and you see that it is just red everywhere. And then he moves to a restroom area where there is a full-length mirror, and he looks at himself in it.
Oh yeah, I think that's when Aurora's gonna tap out. She's gonna be like, nope. Yeah. For some weird reason, despite this very abrasive form of intrusion, Aurora just, I don't know, there's something about looking back and not seeing someone else's body that does make her feel kind of bad for doing this a little bit.
The last
And,
thing
she
that she
disappears.
sees is actually as he's reaching for a razor, a straight razor on his sink, and he captures it between two fingers and he runs it across his chest. It's the last thing that you see as he's praying.
When Aurora kind of like comes to, she kind of like falls on her knees, like, and she looks at Stone, like, rattled.
He's watching you with curious violet eyes. The question, "Are you all right?" written over his expression.
Do you call a kindred the juxtaposition of everything God holds dear, and yet kills in his name? Hurts himself in his name. Have you ever heard of something like that?
Zealotry is common, but wrong. Our only teacher is pain.
I think you might like him more than you think. You should go. And she thinks about it for a moment. She does think about, like, she kind of looks at him. And a part of her wants to do the same thing, but she... Yeah, she's gonna ask if I decided to try to understand you, to share your feelings, would you be mad at me?
I am a tool. Do as you wish.
What if I said that you were more than that?
He stares at you impassively.
She kind of looks at him. Why do you view yourself as a tool?
I am an instrument to be used in the name of our Dark Mother.
Who told you that?
Her teachings.
Did she come to you and ask?
She does not ask. She demands.
Were you her first?
He smiles, big fangs flashing.
And he says, heavens no. Her first was the Dark Father.
And she looks at him, like analyzing, kind of like trying to piece together something. And she then asks, how did you come into this life?
I was murdered like you. Like all of our kind.
What I'm asking is, were you the first of stone? Or was the stone the tool that... And there's something that kind of clicks, and she kind of keeps it to herself. And she says, a tool is not something that can think. But you can think. And that makes you remarkable. I hope you know that. And I know it might seem contradictory, but I think that's what makes you valuable as a being, as something that still has intelligence. When you call yourself a tool, I feel like you're also insulting the Dark Mother and the potential she sees in you. And she kind of walks away with that.
You feel his eyes watching you. And then you hear him when he shifts and he follows.
And then she's gonna go towards Hanson in the car and see if she can meet up with Mori and Robbie.
Okay, Hanson is not there. He's off.
Of course.
He's off doing something else because he's been doing stuff. But meanwhile, we'll go over to Mori. When you get that text message, Robbie has been approached by the kid in fishnets, and they're talking.
Nice.
Just a reminder, we should be invisible.
Oh, is Robbie invisible?
Yes, vanish.
Oh, I thought when
The fourth level.
I thought
yep.
when you walked
Mhm.
around, it like left. Okay, then never mind. He's playing snake on your old phone.
On my old phone, he's taking it from me. Perfect.
If you've let him, absolutely, he's playing the snake game.
Yeah, sure. Until the point I get a text, and then I immediately just take it back.
He's like, oh no, no! It's high score.
Anyways, Mori looks at the text and says, "Right, time to go." Do I know that Hansen's not outside?
Oh yeah, yeah. He didn't get on. He wasn't on the bus with you guys. He wasn't.
Okay. I'm going. I don't have Hansen's number, right?
No, you have Damien's.
Yeah. Just reach out to Damien. Hey, leaving the area. Do you know where Hansen is? But she goes, like, yeah, to go get something. Yeah. Well, if Hansen's not available, I think the idea is to get far enough away from the building that it's considered quote unquote safe. So I think that's what she would do. Also, if it's been an hour since like Aurora left the building, like how long did she watch Killian, right? It was a while, right?
Mm-hmm. I would think so.
Yeah. I think he would. It may be stupid, but there was a code for like her and father that. Let's see. That her and father had that pretty meaningless unless you knew exactly what it was for, and she just sends it to his phone. Not like expecting anything, but you know, if he's there.
So who does she message? I'm sorry. I was reading-
Father Montenegro.
Oh.
Yep.
Just to see.
Just to see. Like, there's a certain response she should get back, and if she doesn't, then you know, she has her answer.
Okay. Okay, so you send that like encoded message, and then you get a message from Damien. It says, go ahead and read it, Vil.
Hansen is out finishing up with a job I have him doing. What do you need from him?
Mori will just text back. If he's busy, nothing. I didn't know where he was, and I was told to bring Robbie to him. I'll keep him safe, though.
Just get like a thumbs up emoji.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that you had retconned that. My bad.
Hello? Oh, you're good. Okay, then at your side, Robbie's like, so that's it? Everything's chill now? Like, where's Aurora?
She said she'd be out when she's out.
What does that mean?
I could take you back to...
Is she in trouble?
It means that... No. No. It means that she's handling something and doesn't want you to be in danger.
He looks down. I'm really sorry. I don't know what came over me. After throwing up all that food, I was so hungry. I'm really sorry.
You don't have to apologize.
But I do. Like, all of this, the way Bishop Killian explained it, if it was some other kindred, it would be like almost all out war. Like, just terrible. And that would have been my fault. I feel bad. About all of this.
I get it.
Like, not even just my part, Mori, just like all of this shit. I feel
feel bad.
She kind of like just like puts a hand on his shoulder and just says, "You don't have to carry the weight of the world. Yes, what you did was a mistake, but nothing was broken. Don't hold it against yourself. Plus, you're part of our pack, and I would fight who I needed to protect you."
That's funny because you're so, you know. And he just kind of makes a small motion.
Oh my god.
Right.
I just,
No, you're right there.
No,
but
I
also,
no, I mean, I feel protect. Thank you, Mori. I do feel protected. It's just kind of funny because you're so whittle. You just,
he just like deadpan stares at him. Would you like to test this out? And she like pulls out
Sounds like a
2 stakes and just like, hey, they won't kill you. You want to fight? You want to try to fight anyways?
he looks at the stake you've handed him and then to you.
It's good experience. I will say, you'll be needing that if you're going to protect anything you care about.
Sure, we could. Yeah. Okay.
Right. We'll find somewhere that we can be alone, but also keep an eye on the front entrance of the church if possible.
And he's like jumping kind of back and forth, you know, like, all right, okay. Sort of trying to hype himself up, you know?
Yep. You were a hunter, yes? You have some training in this?
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't want to hurt you.
I appreciate the thought, but if you could hurt me, then I am lacking.
All right.
And deserve it.
Okay. And he just claps his hands and like is just waiting for the go ahead.
Mori just says, "Don't wait for someone else to attack you." And we'll lunge.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you
Just
gonna
lunge.
use disciplines?
No, not to start out with.
Okay. Given if not to start out with, you can roll your strength and dexterity plus your brawl. Or melee in this case, because you have stakes.
Yep. Which she's not as well trained in. Which is perfectly fine. 5 successes.
Okay. Robbie's pretty good. He got 4 successes. I mean, you still knock him on his ass, but like you're surprised. You lunge at him. He actually like leaps over you like a parkour move, lands, and then swipes out. But you dodge, grab him, throw him on the ground using his own momentum, and he's like, "Oh, oh, whoa."
Right. Nice. Now let me show you a more efficient way to fight. And she'll copy what he did, but do it a little bit
Okay.
more like crisp, a little bit more like reaction wise. It's just the speed is 2 times what he did.
You can teach the baby celerity by giving him a little bit of your blood, because you notice pretty swiftly he is not fast. He is quite strong.
Right.
He does try.
Well, it's
He gets into it, right? He's young. He's wrestling. It's fun. But, I mean, he doesn't want to hurt you. But at one point, he does pick you up around the waist and, like, lift you up. And then he feels uncomfortable, which means you kick his ass.
it's so funny. Yeah. Well, she's like, well, you seem to have the power at least, but maybe a little bit of speed would help you.
I'm fast. I was on track.
I mean, it was the slowest runner, but
And then she just like activates her celerity and like disappears
I could
from
beat
him
the-
and gets right behind him and just says, "Yeah, you could be faster."
whoa, wait. Your invisibleness is because you're fast? That's some Sonic bullshit right there. That's crazy. You mean I could do that?
You could.
How do I do that?
If it just takes a little bit of blood. If you'd like, I'm offering. Take some of mine, and I can run you through some of the celerity.
That's what it's called?
Yes, the technical term.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. I don't have to bite you, right? That's weird. I mean,
I mean, you could, or I could just cut something and you could drink from that, or I could pool blood in my hand. How would you like it?
yeah. Hold on. I think I saw some cups. It's like, you know what? Just I don't want to bite you. That feels. You know, in the party you guys were having, everybody was biting each other. Like that was crazy. That was really. He's rubbing his palms on his jeans. That was like really. That was like more than holding hands.
Yeah, no, right. You're right.
Yeah.
She just kind of like, does like the awkward like rubs one of her arms with yeah.
I hung out
Plus,
with Peggy.
you know-
We watched some old TV.
Yeah. What did you watch? Like, she's somewhat interested.
You know, like Xena and Supernatural and stuff like that. Scooby Doo, just old stuff. You guys were in there for a long time,
Oh,
doing way more than holding hands.
right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, going back to the what's Xena?
Oh, yeah, warrior princess. Just oh yeah, and she's got the chakram that she throws. Is pretty crazy.
Mori kind of tilts her head. No, I have no idea. I've never watched the TV.
Oh, we should do that sometime. We should do that. There's some good old stuff there. Like Zero's got a collection of old stuff that's pretty. I guess you could just like maybe just prick your finger. Is that okay? I feel like that's a little weird too. Does it? Do I have to take a? Do I have to gulp or can I just or I got slurp? Like
I don't think there's a correct way to do it. However you'd like. I could just fill the glass if you found one.
I didn't. I thought I saw a cup, but I remembered they were in the church with the little communion crackers. I ate a couple of those, but
Right.
I shouldn't have.
Would you prefer a finger, or would you prefer if I just slit my wrist and you drank from that?
Ow, Mori. Just prick your finger. What do you mean? Don't cut yourself. That's. Let's not do that.
Right. And she just pricks her finger.
He just stares at it. And
You
then
gotta drink.
he blushes head to toe, Mori. And the kid is gonna have some fantasies. And he licks your finger and
Lord.
puts it in his mouth because you're a more attractive older woman. But yeah. When he pulls away, he is super blushing and clears his throat and is like, I guess this is a weird compliment. Things tasted good. So it's just gonna...
Yeah, no, Mori turns away like a second, just a little bit flustered. Right. Anyways.
So I just run now, and I'll go.
No. You gotta feel it. Did you the taste, whatever. Focus on that, and just repeat after me. And she just like shows him how to use some celerity abilities.
He sucks at it.
So
He
that's
like
okay.
he tries to run fast, ends up like jumping, parkour, falls on his ass. You know.
It's a new thing. You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna run fast.
Yeah. And with the power, maybe you'll be able to save someone. Someone you care about, someone you couldn't live without.
Yeah, you guys. And at that point, he like sits down on a probably park bench where you guys are good distance away from the church and looks up at the stars. You think it's all gonna work out, Mori? I imagine we're gonna a long time like this together, you know?
I hope so. You know what's funny?
Mm.
I've felt more human as a vampire than I did when I was human.
Oh, damn.
I have a choice. I don't have to kill anyone. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, is it alright if I ask you sort of a personal question?
Yeah. Sure. Go ahead.
Do you think I put too much on Azriel? Like, for me, he was hope, right? Like, maybe he could show me what it's like to be a better person. Because I only knew one way of living. And I saw a lot of good in him. I was hoping he'd teach me what that means.
I mean, I'm not a relationship expert or anything, but from what I understand, you know, it goes both ways. You gotta give and you gotta take. I mean, having someone be your hope, that's a lot of pressure. I would not want a girlfriend that put that pressure on me. I would want a girlfriend that we looked for hope together, and she loved me even when there were days that I wasn't lovable. You know?
Mori kind of stares at her feet as she's listening.
Because it's
Right.
not equal, right?
It-
My uncle.
A two-way road? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, no, my uncle, my aunt, they got divorced, but then they got remarried. But he told me something really cool. I wish I had my notebook, but I think it's in my backpack in my locker at school. Oh shit! I'm gonna need to get my shit from school. Anyways, he said that sometimes, after they got back together, right? Everybody in the families make fun of him and, oh yeah, you just like being, pussy whipped, blah blah blah. And he was like, it's not about that. It's just something neither of us understood with our job. It just sometimes, he said sometimes he and my aunt, they didn't have the percent, right? So if your relationship is 100%, right, that's the normal. And then sometimes there's like a like a day where you can only do like 10%, then your partner's got to do the rest so that the relationship keeps going. You know, maybe I'm doing a bad job explaining this, but
So, what do I have to give then? You know, I'm trying my best. I reached out to my sister. I've been watching like the good she does, but I and she kind of goes silent after that for a couple of minutes.
I don't know. I mean,
Do you think I'm doing okay?
he lifts his shoulders. I'm not in the relationship. I don't know. I just know that sometimes your partner can only give you 30 and you got to make up the rest. So my uncle said sometimes they only had like 10% each. They had to figure it out so that they could make that higher percent to 100. I mean, only you can answer that with Azriel if you want to keep going or not, you know? Like, no one can make that choice for you. If you're happy, you just gotta make your percent up. If he can't give you 100%, and you gotta give more. And if you can't give your percent, then he's gotta give more. That's it. It's just sometimes you have to love a little harder on the days your partner can't.
Got it.
But I
You
don't
know,
know. He
you're-
kind of looks like a monster right now, so I have no idea if that's conducive to romance or if that's not your thing. Like, I get it. He shrugs. I
But I
just,
have to try, right?
if you love him, yeah.
I think I do, yeah.
Well,
I don't think I've been fair for him or fair on him.
I mean, kind of saying he's the hope that you have is a lot of pressure. He's just a guy, you know. He's not a god.
I
He's
mean,
not-
I never told him, but
But you did.
Ah.
You had it in your mind already, Mori, and he was helpless against it. No one can live up to those expectations because nobody's perfect. Hell, if my girlfriend told me I was her hope, I would say I was not Anakin. And I will not balance
sorry,
the
what's
force.
an Anakin?
Oh, sorry. Star Wars reference. I would have feel awkward.
Right. Sorry. Would you be okay if you just kept practicing? I'm gonna make a call.
Oh yeah, I'll try and keep running up the tree.
And he gets really into it, but he keeps falling.
And she'll call Azriel.
Okay, at this point, Azriel and Damien are in the car. So after their whole fiasco, Azriel, you're petting Nina, and your phone rings.
I'd assume I also have a unique ringtone for Mori, so I'd know it's her.
That's up to you.
So I'd pull it out right away,
Mm-hmm.
but then I'd look over to Damien. Do you mind if I take this call?
Knock yourself out.
With permission, I'll immediately answer.
Hey, Azriel. You doing okay?
Had a close encounter with some spirits, but Damien saved me. Are you doing okay?
Sorta. I came to a revelation that I wasn't really being fair on you.
Oh, so
I expected the world from you and didn't give you a chance to explain yourself or your actions.
I would like to give you the world. But
I'd like to
Just
be the
me.
world for you. I'd like for us to be something that could last forever. I got afraid that maybe I was. And she stops, like, tries to collect her thoughts. And then she says, I put too much pressure on you. I fell in love with what you represent. And I just expected it from you without giving anything in return.
hey,
I'm sorry. I miss you.
I miss you too.
I'd
was
like for
really
us
worried.
to. I'd like for us to be something, and I'm willing to make compromises. If you need anything from me, just let me know.
Yeah,
I love you.
I love you too. I'm willing to make compromises as well. I'd rather us talk it out like this. It really scared me the last time you just left on us.
Yeah. I didn't really give you a chance, did I?
I was upset, I think, about that. Oh,
Hey,
phew.
I know it's probably too late now, but I just wanted you to know that I don't feel comfortable with the route you're taking. I think you're losing that amazing part of yourself. And I'd appreciate it if you came back to me.
I'm trying to make compromises in order to be able to protect the pack. There's a power that I have that's on the darker side, but it could be useful for us.
I didn't need you to be strong. I was going to protect you myself. I just wanted you to be you.
But I also want to protect you, and I want to protect the pack. It's hard to protect everybody. I don't want there to be a situation where you have to choose between protecting me or your sister or Aurora, and you can only protect one of us. I'd rather be there on the front line and helping protect you and Aurora and Damien and your sister. By any means necessary.
Don't lose yourself.
I'm trying to hold on to what's important.
I don't think I could bear it.
I could never want to hurt you again. I was so upset with myself after the first time I hurt you. You gotta tell me if I'm
Right.
hurting you.
I'll try to be better in the future.
I'll also try to be better.
And with that, I think Mori says goodbye and ends the call.
Okay. As you end the call, you hear this. Ah! I think I broke my arm, Mori!
She goes to look at it.
Yeah, his collarbone's busted.
Right. Nice
Ow!
job.
How do I fix it? How do I fix it? My arm!
Okay.
He swings it
okay.
around like a noodle.
Hold on. Right.
My
So,
body is a
do you
freak
know
of
what-
nature now. Why? 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 Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I feel it, but I don't, Mori. I feel it, but I
do you want me to help you fix it?
Yeah, he stops and his arm like.
All right. We're just gonna hold this in place.
Okay.
Do you know what rousing the blood is?
He blushes. Mori.
Okay. Well, anyways, it's a process in which a kindred becomes more human. Maybe. Do you know what a blush of life is?
Mori.
He like looks at him, just like, what am I saying that's wrong?
No, I don't. I don't know what those are.
Right. Then I guess I'll start with the basics. And she'll just tell him about rousing the blood, a blush of life, and hopefully he'll figure it out and be able to use it so that he can fix what's broken.
Okay. Ugh. Oh, he doesn't get hungrier. And his bone, and he's like, oh, it's weird. It's crazy. It's crazy. And he runs around in a circle for a second, laughing and kind of like shaking it off. And then he messages Damien and is like, I just broke my arm and then I mended it in the same crazy breath. I don't know. My body's crazy now. And if I pulled my teeth out, could I grow them back? Damien, please answer. This is important.
Is he saying that as he's texting?
No, I think he's just texting it.
Oh, too bad.
And then when Damien doesn't immediately answer, he looks at Mori and he's like, if I pulled all my teeth out, could I just grow them back?
Technically, yes. You could also chop off all your hair, and it would grow back the next morning.
What?
Yes.
What about diseases? Like Ebola?
You're dead. You don't get diseases.
What? I'm immune to diseases like Ebola?
I'm pretty sure. Yes.
That's so cool.
Yep. You only lost your life for it, so it's pretty cool.
Wait. But I'm still alive. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not alive, but I am alive.
Technically, I guess you're in a state of undeath.
What? I mean, it kinda. No, I'm... Man, this is
You
confusing.
were a hunter, right? Hold on. You were a hunter, right?
I mean... Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Did you ever, like, I don't know, study the physiology? The word feels wrong in her mouth. Of, like, anything that you hunted?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't really... I was kind of like an initiate. You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of... like, I was...
So, you were a baby.
When does Aurora come into this conversation?
About now. Is... About now.
when I hear it, when like so I want to know like at what point do we round out the corner and see them having this conversation?
You see him kind of hopping back and forth, and he's like, "Yeah, I was an acolyte, you know, like I was an apprentice, like getting ready. I was earning my shield and sword, you know. I was a hunter, yeah." Looks down, looks up.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. We are technically dead.
But I'm alive. Look at me.
So what that means, okay, but you know when it becomes morning and you just cease to exist, no dreams, no anything? Yeah, you're dead.
He like stops jumping. He's like,
That is not cool at all. I have dreams.
Do you have dreams?
Yeah.
Have you had dreams since you died?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Is he
When?
lying?
He's absolutely lying.
All right, what were they about?
Naked woman in a mirror.
Like,
That was a dream.
wait, what? What?
Yeah. That was a.
I don't know. No, that can't be possible. It's not possible for you to. Okay, what else? What happened in the dream? Was that it?
Yeah, she was beckoning me. That's all. She was like, come into my mirror dimension, Robbie.
You do realize, I think, because Aurora hasn't had dream. Maybe that was a vision. Do you have? And she just like looks at him. Can you see things?
What do you mean?
Like ghosts or things that look like that no one else can see? Like people are like, oh, it's not there, but it's like there.
He like looks down at his phone. He said I shouldn't pull my teeth out.
Why were? Oh, yeah, don't do that. Because even if you, I mean, did you want to pull your teeth out again?
Oh, I broke my arm and I fixed it. And then he like wiggles his arm to show you. Where are we going now?
Yeah, but first of all, if you pull your teeth out, you still have to like grow them back. They don't grow back that quickly. And how are you going to feed?
Okay, let's. Yeah. Rubs his face. Okay, what's our what's next on the agenda? Where are we doing? Where are we going? Are you okay? You were gone for a long time.
Yeah. I just wanted some extra insight and insurance. But things are sorted, and we even have an opportunity.
Right.
So I want to talk to Damien about it. And he's on his way to Elysium, right? So we should probably meet up with him.
Like 4 hours.
Sounds good to me.
Correct.
But I'm also and she kind of like looks around and she's like, I'm also kind of hungry. So I think
Say it
we
again.
should,
I totally missed it.
I think I'm a little hungry. And it feels different. Like when I was hungry before, it just seems like if I asked someone, it was fine. But now it feels like I need more. If that makes any sense.
Robbie's like, yeah, that's why I had to rearrange the bathroom, I think. Like a freak. Because I had a freaky new.
Would drinking from me help?
I mean, yeah, that'd be great. But could
She
we,
kind of like moves her hair to one side and
but-
just like offers her neck.
But could we, and something she's like she doesn't want to say it. Like she seems like embarrassed.
Oh, sorry. Am I being too forward?
No. It's not that. It's just I kind of like I just need I'm comfortable with who I am. I want more, and I think we're gonna need privacy for
Robbie's
that.
like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bus stop. I'm
Right.
out. I'm leaving. I'm going. Come on, big guy. And he pushes Stone.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Hurricane or Virgin?
If that's all right with you.
Of course it is. And she like puts her hand against like Aurora's face and like moves her hair back. And then kind of like puts her nose on like Aurora's nose, even though it's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah,
I care
Aurora
deeply
just
for you.
Aurora just looks so deep into Mori's eyes, and there is just this lust, and she just starts kissing Mori like deeply, as if it's the best drink of water she's had and all day.
How many points of hunger do you?
She would try to slake off one
Okay.
because they have stuff to do. But yeah, things get pretty.
Let me look at
You know,
Maury's character sheet really fast. They get the spice.
Spicy.
spicy girl on girl spice. Let's go.
Mori's very happy about this.
Okay,
She's
so you-
very
Oh, yeah.
impressed.
You
Aurora's,
actually
like,
slake 2 points of
real happy.
hunger with 1 point of
Yes.
hunger feeding from Mori, but Mori's hunger goes up by 1. Yeah, that's what ends up happening.
Will do.
And by the time you get to the bus station, Robbie's like playing games on his phone. Seth is standing kind of towards the shadows. He stands up and he's like, "Hey, you good to go?" Can't meet either of your gazes.
Aurora smiles, a little bit of blood on her teeth. She's like, yeah, perfect, fine. And she's like holding Mori's hand.
I would almost say that Mori is kind of just like clinging to your arm. Just
Oh yeah.
very happy.
And she kisses the top. Aurora kisses the top of your head. Like, just like kisses the top of your head, kisses your forehead, kisses your cheek.
All right. And we meanwhile there, as you guys are finally headed to Elysium, to Damien and Azriel. Elysium is a network of buildings interconnected over a city block. The entrance is a sleek office building done with mirrored black windows, and it opens into a 5-star hotel-like lobby. At the concierge desk is a ghoul that you recognize as one and recognizes you as Kindred if you choose to go in the front.
As it's going to wait for Damien's lead and just support him as best he can.
He definitely. I don't know if he wants to go through the front. That seems too.
Exposed for his style.
Yeah. So if there's like a back entrance or something
It
where
will take a
someone's
little bit
guarding
of investigating, but you can take a look-see.
If we come across any stray Kindred, I'm also a little thirsty.
You don't know.
I'll mention that to Damien.
Okay.
Seeking approval he's asking for approval if we come across a stray Kindred.
Oh boy.
All you see is just a shrug, like do whatever.
Oh
Like,
no. Okay. You're in fucking
Azriel just gives you a
Elysium and you're
smile.
just gonna do what you want. I understand. Oh no.
Oh god.
Look at that, baby.
Oh god. Okay. Ugh. Okay.
but like, even though he shrugs, like, just be discreet.
Of course, I don't want to cause any trouble for you or the pack.
Lord. Okay. Roll investigation and awareness. Or wits and investigation, please.
It's an investigation. Do I have anything in investigation? Oh lord. No, it's the same as.
I messy crit with a skull for 3.
And what does Damien get?
I also get 3.
You do not find another entrance.
There's just gonna be a reluctant sigh, and he's gonna look at Mia. I guess the front.
So you come to that well, it's a sleek. It's not overly loaded with riches and dripping chandeliers. It's a sleek, modern lobby. And the ghoul grins at the both of you. What can I do for you today, Your Grace?
Don't call me that.
My apologies.
I'm here to meet your special guests.
Naturally. May I have your names?
I go by Artemis, and she goes by...
Just looks at her.
Do you really need her name? Is that necessary?
This is-
Or is this like logging us?
Indeed, names are required, especially for new faces in our fair city.
Right, so they gotta abide by a set of rules.
Naturally, keeps our community healthy and safe.
She goes by Nina.
And you're referring to Mia?
Mm-hmm.
Nice, giving Nina's name. Nina is out in the car, by the way, with Fenrir, watching the goods and growling at anyone that gets within like 20 feet. So. Okay. And you, Your Grace. Looking at Azriel.
Az looks to Damien, like, questioningly, like, if you want him to give, like, just some different name as well.
He just shrugs again.
Just Azriel's fine.
Artemis, Azriel, and Nina. I've noted you down. We've seen your faces. Please, come. Let me introduce you.
And he leads you. As the conjurer steps
so
away,
what-
another conjurer steps up.
So before we meet whomever, do I need a second sheet for this?
For what do you mean?
Because I know we discussed a while ago to have a special someone from another chronicle to be there. And you said it was cool.
Yes. Technically, yes.
All right, I'll open it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, technically. Because you're going to be rubbing shoulders for a little while.
I'm also going to be on the lookout myself for any sign that Alice might be here. That's just in the back of Azriel's head.
Okay. As you're moving, you're led to a elevator that goes down. And this elevator opens up into like a cubicled area where there seems to be business also being conducted. But in the back of this area, there is like an old school smoke room from like the 1800s, right? Dark leather, chuckling gentlemen, drinks that are clearly not drinks, if you catch my drift. There is a few interesting characters
And they eye you with interest. And then you basically, like an 18th century ball, I present to you, your graces, a Sir Artemis and his grace Azriel and their retainer Nina. And then the ghoul bows and, please, enjoy. And leaves the two of you in this gentleman-styled smoking lounge.
This is pretty bougie, if you ask me.
It reminds me of when I was younger. My father quite enjoyed places like this.
Is that so?
Yes.
Like, a summer home or something like that? Or just
Mm-hmm.
sounds nice.
I grew up a little bit on the privileged side, I would say.
I imagine affluence is always nice to have, so that's pretty rad, I guess.
It was
Just,
quite a blessing.
Just a middle-class town
This
in
is everything
America,
I could
pretty
think of.
much.
Well, I've been working.
So how long you think they'll watch us till they wish to engage, huh?
You know how they like to play it. Take their time. Wait, the older ones will probably wait for one of the younger ones to approach us first. Azriel will say that loud enough so everybody can hear too.
You are watched with a discernment as you make your way through with curious gazes. And it almost feels like a test. There's an empty table in one of the far corners. There's an empty corner of the bar. There's a pool table that's empty. Everything else has occupants. There is a very tall, bald woman watching you, and she's sitting, lounging, and on either side is a very pretty petite man. This woman is probably well over 6 feet. And while watching the two of you move, she leans over and bites the neck of one of these pretty men that she has on her side. Where do the two of you choose to linger or move?
What were the two empty options again?
There's a pool table that's empty. There's a corner of a bar that's empty, a big round. There is a table in the far corner that's empty as well.
Damien's eyes will kind of light up by the pool table, but then I'll look at Azriel.
It's like we got a couple of options here. What are you thinking?
What do you think of the pool table? I saw you notice that.
I mean, I don't. Yeah. I'm partial.
You ever play billiards?
I was pretty decent at it.
Why don't we have a game and see if we can attract any interest?
I'm definitely cool with that.
And he looks
Will
at
just give you a smile.
he looks at Mia.
Remember all those late night games with everyone?
You move over to the pool table. Okay. Set by the green, there's
pool sticks, the large triangle to set the table and the game. The both of you begin to play while you're being watched. What do you talk about as you play?
Takes me back to simpler times, if anything. No worries, just college life. Dating. And meeting this one, and he just kind of nudges Mia.
She smiles a little bit, takes one of the pool sticks. It's like, are we playing 2v1? The two of you can pair up, try and beat me.
Why would I ever break up such a happy couple? Maybe we'll do 2v1 the other way around.
She kind of laughs a little. If you're sure. I'll give
As
you,
we just shrug.
give you your first 5 shots for free.
Oh, that Azriel looks like faux offended. We can just have a normal game.
She's like, okay. I hope you like the taste of loss. But she's clearly
Maybe
playing.
it'll be good for me. Az will rack up for everyone, so that they get the first to break.
Okay. And so you begin to play. And there's... How does your kindred feel as this game continues? Like, it's so mundane, almost.
Azriel's kind of just looking for ways to kind of provoke the other kindred here, just to draw their attention. He wants to try to get a feel for the room as he provokes them very subtly. Testing the limits and just experimenting with the room.
I would say for Damien, it's more like a shark among sharks. Like, he knows that these people are probably more capable than him, but he still realizes he's a predator in a pool of predators.
Mm-hmm.
And that even though they may act, entitled and have their pretty boys and girls to feed upon, he realizes it's just decadence. It's just meant to be garish for the sake of looking, the sake of having status, which Damien has no status. To them, he's dirt. He's dirt in a very nice, pretty bowl. He's garbage. I mean, they wouldn't look at him even if they did, but he realizes that they're all sizing him up, and he's doing the same.
Okay. So to play the game, I need both of you just to roll d10s.
All right.
That is a 9.
Got a 6.
Okay. Mia also got a 9. So, she's very good. The game does swing in Damien and Mia's favor because there's 2 of them. But Azriel, she's very good, and she seems impressed that you're able to keep up with her. Like, oh, good job. The room, many of the kindred in here, they literally, after, watching you for a moment, go back to minding their own damn business. They seem preoccupied. Even that really tall, bald woman, very preoccupied, having their own conversations, doing their own business or not business, relaxing even. There is one kindred at the bar who is just slamming shots of blood. He looks dirty. He's wearing a trench coat. His hair is a mess. He smells a little bit like the street. And then there's, over in the far end, like furthest away from him, there's 3 gentlemen sitting over a card game, and each of them has a drink, and they're laughing and chuckling to each other, and they're all, I wouldn't say they're like necessarily handsome, but they're all wearing fine suits that give them a handsome appeal. They look like businessmen. And then there is a child, probably 10 to 12 years old, a little girl that looks like a doll, seated in the corner opposite of the businessmen, and her ghouls are seated on the floor around her, and she's drawing. And none of them actually show up to approach you. You guys play 2 or 3 games where it's consistently neck and neck between Mia and Azriel.
What do you think we should do, Damien? Artemis. He catches himself.
Lol.
I guess we should engage. Maybe that's what they want.
And he's going to make a move towards the guy that's, more street level, just pounding shots.
Okay.
He's going to take a seat next to him at the bar.
When you sit next to him, he gets up and he moves away. He takes one, look at you, and he looks rough, right? He looks like he's been out working. There's still, flecks of blood dried on his face. And he just gets up, slides his drinks down, and sit down. So there's a space between the two of you.
I swear I don't bite.
It makes you a liar. We all bite.
And he throws another shot back and calls for another one.
Oh, I don't think you're my type, pal.
He just squints at you.
Did not realize you are coming onto me.
No, not like that. Just saying. Definitely not the type I would like to feast upon in a place like this. There seems to be enough prey to do that with, willing or unwilling.
Ask your questions so I can get back to my silence, please.
I just want to know when I get to meet the jerk-offs that run this establishment.
So long as you consider them jerk-offs, probably never.
I mean, I'm here to deliver a message, and I think it would be pertinent for them to maybe indulge,
Oh yeah?
since there are things out there that threaten all your ways of living.
I'm gonna get emotions for you to continue. I think he's listening.
At this point, he's gonna pull back his hood and start to unravel his face. Because apparently this is a place he can just be himself.
And you see, there are things out there that are very unnatural that I've seen, that a couple of us have seen. Old things. Things you and I could imagine would have happened in history. Things that have just been slapped together. Like bodies. Crafted. The flesh and blood.
He's squinting.
Never seen anything like that.
Squinting at you now.
Maybe a time or two.
Saw about a handful of them myself. Even had a sire at a point who was probably older than anyone here. So I'm just curious, and I guess I'll ask in a proper form of decorum. Who do I have to talk to?
He kind of shifts a little bit.
It's run by a group. But I suppose it depends on what exactly you have. If you have something. Because otherwise, you're just delivering a message.
Oh, I have something. You know, those slapped together things of flesh and blood. Covered in the tarp in the bed of a truck.
And he kind of makes a grossed out look.
And he taps on the bar 3 times.
And this ghoul stands up, and she's beaming. What can I do for you, Your Grace? And, what languages does Damien speak?
He speaks a couple. He speaks. See. He speaks French, German, and Turkish.
Okay. So in German, essentially, very old brand of it, bordering, bordering like Dark Ages, right? He just says, I'd like to put in a request. Yep. And then she answers in the same language, which Damien, for the most part, understands. And then he grins at you. Says, I look forward to seeing the fruits of your meeting. I'm going to go back to silently drinking now.
Wonderful.
And
Thank you for the help.
He nods. And he just continues. He throws a couple more back. And then he gets up out of the seat. And he unfolds twice. So the first time he unfolds, and then there's this nasty clicking sound, and he unfolds again. And he like shuffles out of the lounge.
For the audience at home and for Jackie's sake, what does unfolding look like?
So he stands up, and then his knees pop and break, and another set of legs drop out of his knees, making him a quarter of the amount taller. So he literally unfolds twice.
Thank you. I appreciate the description.
Yep. And boy, Damien, are they making you guys wait. Mia eventually moves up to the bar and says, should we try to talk to anybody else while we're waiting?
We could go rattle the kids' cage.
I don't think that's a kid.
Neither do I.
What's Azriel doing?
Azriel's just kind of scanning the crowd, just checking to see if there's anyone that he thinks, or he's looking for his sire, just in case she's among them.
In this lobby room, you don't see any signs of her.
I guess I'm just sizing everybody up then. Sticking close enough to Artemis.
Okay.
Not get in trouble.
Then you're there when Mia suggests maybe talking to someone else. Maybe not.
Yeah, he's gonna move up to the kid and whoever his entourage was.
Okay, it's a little girl. And all
Oh,
of
she.
her ghouls are
I'll
sitting.
go up with you.
She's like 10 or 12. And when you approach, she looks up with huge eyes and blood-stained lips. Hello. Greetings. You must be new.
Yes and no. But here, yes.
Then it's very good to meet you.
Huh. You're the first one to not treat me like I'm a pile of dirt.
Hopefully I do not regret that choice. Would you like to sit with me and talk a while?
And one of her ghouls
I
like
don't
shuffles
mind.
over to be your chair.
He's just gonna sit on the ghoul.
Okay, she's sitting on her own, and then, two more shuffle over for... Well, one more. She does not offer a seat to your ghoul.
I'll accept the chair.
Okay.
So what brings you to our city? Are you living here now? Just visiting?
Been living here a while. Been doing some investigative work, and I have some things that I think the group that runs this establishment would be interested in.
Oh. How kind of you to bring such information to our doors.
I guess it's kind. Although kindness of a kindred is fleeting. Doesn't really exist, does it?
I disagree. Kindness is... favors, is it not? An exchange of sorts between two honorable parties that keep their word.
I guess.
Without it, it goes to chaos. And chaos leads to death. And our kind typically doesn't like final death. Unless, of
But
course,
if you don't,
you do. There are necromancers among us, after all.
not too worried about death. Doesn't bother me as a concept, really. Stopped being alive some time ago. But as a new acquaintance once said, a dance is always fun, with a little bit of chaos.
I disagree.
I take it you prefer order then. Balance.
Most assuredly. We would not exist otherwise. And out of her teacup, she pulls a animal heart, pops it into her mouth and chews. And she snaps her fingers and one of her ghouls straightens and pours both of you a cup of blood. If you're interested.
Mighty kind of you. I'll take the cup. Go on.
Azriel like look to you, give you kind of like just a look to like wait a second, as he'll take a sip first.
You seem rather straightforward.
It never hurts to check. Meeting strangers for the first time and all.
Okay, so she like adjusts a little awkwardly. Is listening, right? I mean, you're at a table with a predator, right? You don't know how old she is, but she does say, "My name is Rosalie."
I'm Azriel.
Azriel.
You could call me Artemis.
And Artemis. What a lovely name. Tell me, are you setting up territories in the city?
No. I have a territory outside of the city.
You're that Artemis. Well, it is quite the pleasure to make your acquaintance. You seem younger than I expected, though.
What happens when a fool tries diablerie?
She gasped a little. That is taboo, most forbidden in our laws. Typically, the conclave would call for a hunt. Though there is the matter of your right in your territory. There are accidents, after all. But a trial would be held.
Oh, no need for a trial. Not when they fail.
She takes a sip out of her cup. That taboo could be considered quite the threat to those who lead our city currently. And I will offer you, as your elder, a word of advice. There is an old kindred visiting our fair city, and he does not take kindly to those who brazenly dissuade the rules. There is a beloved nickname that trails behind him where'er he goes. I consider it crude, to be honest, but he is known as the Butcher.
That is most crude.
When you go before him, because make no mistake, you will, be polite and do not mention diablerie.
We'll take your counsel. Thank you very much.
She kind of gives you a little giggle. Of course. Naturally. As the eldest kindred at the table, it is my duty.
If I may be so bold as to ask, what is this butcher like?
He's quite handsome. Very charming. But there is a... You are familiar with the clans, I assume?
Loosely, yes.
Good. There is a sixth sense and a third sight about him. Very little is hidden from his mind's eye. Rumor is he is a Malkavian, and one of the most powerful.
Interesting.
Rumor also has it he's looking for something. Going from city to city. One could consider him of importance. You see, he's quite dear to a very powerful Ventru. It goes by the name of Florenza. But like you, he has a pet. Very beautiful indeed. And her eyes kind of finally cut towards Mia, who's pulled up a chair, but is not at the table. She's just kind of sitting near you on guard. Your pet is gorgeous. I can tell you care for her a great deal. It matters not of the two of you whom she belongs to, I can guess. I am merely complimenting you on your most generous grooming. Mia, almost gags. And that's about the point that both of you receive a message that Aurora, Mori, and Robbie are outside of Elysium.
He looks at the child again.
Perhaps you could come to one of my balls. It would be most exciting to see you dressed up in my century's fashion. Would you like an invitation?
I'll take one for future reference, yes.
She holds out her hand and she snaps her fingers, and there's this red flare. And this envelope, black and sleek, appears. For you and any friends or pets you may wish to bring. But please, be sure to send this in. And RSVP. I would hate not to have enough gifts for any surprise guests. You understand.
Of course. We'll follow the proper etiquette.
She's grinning. Excellent. I'm so excited. There is a detail of the types of fabrics you're able to wear. I most look forward to it.
He's gonna take his invitation, put it in his pocket, and then hand the other invitation that was in his hand to Azriel.
Azriel will take it and put it in his breast pocket. And just tap it twice for like it's there safe.
Thank you once again for your hospitality.
Of course. Naturally. It is only through community that we continue to prosper. To move forward as a species. To not be swallowed by the dark. You must adhere to the light. And
I
she
think that's a beautiful sentiment.
pulls out another little animal heart out of her cup and eats it.
He's going to just like swig his drink.
It's got little heart boba bubbles at the bottom. It's terrible, but I mean, it's actually tastes really good to you, but it's chunky. It's meaty.
Azriel will also finish downing the drink politely.
And that's at that point, unless there's anything special for Aurora and Mori, beyond like the names that you give the concierge, you're brought into this same lounge.
Nope, nothing for Mori.
Nothing. Yeah, I can't think of anything for Aurora.
Okay,
as well.
then the two of you are
I
ushered in.
will say, Mori is 100% visible.
Okay. Robbie gives the name Dynamite.
Oh God.
He returns. He returns
Just-
from Soul Jammer.
I just love that. I like to think that Mori and Aurora and Stone just like slow look at Robbie. Slow turn.
Yeah, that's my name.
Question for my reference: is Mori and Aurora like still like connected when they come in?
I think Mori would have taken more of a like a protective stance, not necessarily like the cuddling. Definitely cuddled the entire car drive though.
Yeah, I think Aurora would have you would see, I would say Azriel would see like Aurora let go of Mori's hand at the very, like as soon as they see them. Like they see, before like Aurora notices you guys, you just notice her like as they come into the room, like just let go hands.
Azriel definitely is going to be glaring at you then.
Woof. Okay. So the four of you gather. I'm assuming you move away from Rosalie's table.
Mm-hmm.
And you maybe go to the table in the corner that's empty so that all of you can converge there. You have a moment to roleplay if you would like.
Also notice Az is not a horrifying monster anymore.
He looks a little chill. Little Bing chill.
Yeah,
Gained
Aurora
two
will be
human
like,
since you last
wow.
saw him.
yeah. Aurora will be like, "Wow, you look good." Just smiles at you.
Nothing's really changed.
Aurora just
up
gives him a
from
look
what-
like,
I did heal up from you clawing the shit out of me.
Aurora glares at him from that. Well deserved. And I would do it again.
Mori was about to say something, but when like Azriel brought up like the claws, she just kind of like winces and she doesn't sit at the table. She stands like in front of the table, just like as a precautionary, we'll take a bullet for someone, sort of thing.
Yeah. And she says, and Aurora says just up front, I don't take kindly to people doing things, people that I supposedly trust, behind my back, especially if they might hurt someone I care about.
Do you trust me?
I did.
I will admit I was in the wrong for trying to go behind your back. I should have just explained it.
Well, okay. I appreciate that. And Aurora relaxes a little bit.
Azriel is still glaring at Aurora. Like he wants to say something more, but he doesn't.
Aurora's
Wants
just
to
like
go
looking at him like,
deeper.
what? And then
Deeper
Aurora just
into
says, is. Alright. I don't know if this is the time to talk about all
Unfortunately,
of.
it is not the time. We can talk about it later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's
And,
going on? Everyone's crazy. Why are the two people I care about fighting? Oh no.
Damien's just like looking at Robbie the whole time, like, what did you do? Like, I know what you did, but I want to hear it in your words.
Oh my god, he's looking at the ground. He's like, I'm so guilty. I'm a bad boy. I ruined everything. But, you know, just
So,
that
Aurora-
awkward young kid, like, God, I'm so sorry. I fucked everything up.
Is Robbie standing or sitting?
He's sitting.
Always sitting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
So,
yeah,
Aurora-
no. Sorry. Mori
So-
would have told Damien, just like the lowdown of what the priest did. I understand that Robbie probably already sent it, but she's making sure that he gets the information. It's like the priest, the bishop, was very kind overall and started explaining the laws of being a kindred. As far as I could tell, nothing was done maliciously, and we couldn't have hoped for a better outcome.
Yeah, I handled it. And don't worry about it.
We ran into Fenrir and his girlfriend. They're out with my truck. I
Ki-
just thought you should
his
know.
kin. They're not kin. They're related.
Wait.
Azriel could get it wrong.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Oh, thank God.
She's not here to correct him, don't worry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like yeah, and Aurora just breathes a sigh of relief. Oh, thank God. I was really worried about him. I'm glad that he's okay, and I'm glad that Nina's okay too. I really
Oh,
care a lot
Nina's
about
so
them.
much more than what we thought she was.
You
Oh,
probably
she's-
shouldn't go into detail of that here.
Definitely.
No, we'll talk about it afterwards.
Oh, I mean,
But it was
maybe
important
she-
to bring up for the rest of us.
Well, I mean, she's pregnant, and she's a pregnant dog, and I know that's a lot for people.
He just gives Aurora a look and like,
She is much more than a dog.
Aurora looks worried, but she doesn't say anything. Now is not the time nor the place. And Aurora assesses the room. And does she see the same people and the same places?
Mm-hmm.
Are they? Who's listening into their conversation?
Doesn't look like any of them, but they probably all are.
Okay. Well, were we able to get a meeting?
I think a recent acquaintance of mine was able to get me an in. To my understanding. We'll potentially be meeting someone by the name of the Butcher.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
At about that point, the door opens with a clap and a bang. This
Aurora
woman
stands up.
she has deep bronze skin, a mass of wildly long curling black hair. She's pear-shaped. She's wearing pants that open on the sides, and you can just see all of that thick cake. She doesn't scream Kindred, but boy, is she beautiful and powerful in a different way. And over the din, and kind of irreverently, she looks down at this small notepad in her hand. I'm looking for someone named Artemis. Really unique name that you have.
He's gonna stand up and raise his hand, just like a kid in school.
Aurora gives him an eyebrow and just watches.
Right, are you coming alone? Is your entire table coming with you?
I guess we bring the whole brigade. Why not?
Wonderful. This way, please, and don't make me wait. And she just turns and starts fast walking.
Hot.
He's going to.
Is she in heels, by the way?
Boots.
Sorry. I panic. Yeah, Aurora just stands up abruptly, pushes in her chair, just kindly just does a quick look and follows Damien.
There's the rest of the
Follow immediately after Aurora.
There's the rest of the pack. Azriel, you follow.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
Okay. Robbie also follows. Mia follows. This woman walks like a Korean MMO character, but you don't think she's doing it on purpose. She's just shaped that way. And she gets to this elevator where she punches in a number, and she pulls out a pack of gum, pops a piece in her mouth, and is like, I'm sorry, rude of me not to offer. Do any of you want a piece of gum before this meeting, just in case you have nasty breath?
Azriel will accept a piece of gum.
Yeah.
Aurora checks her breath. And does her breath smell like blood or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she takes the piece of gum and she says thank you.
You're welcome. It's a pet peeve of mine, having these long, drawn-out verbal meetings, and people smell like ass. All right, pile in, you're all friends. And she presses in a button. Beep, 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 beep. There's a ghoul that's like, Madame. And she's like, sorry, don't need your help. And when she holds up her hand, there's this huge diamond on the ring finger. Massive diamond. She's like, sorry, I know the way, don't need your help. Goodbye.
Wow. Wow. Your ring is that's a big diamond.
I
That's
know.
amazing.
I'm a treasure.
Yeah. Wow. It's just that's all she can say. She's like so stunned into like this beautiful person is just so much bigger than life, and Aurora is in awe and admiration.
So, the lot of you have a flesh amalgamation in your truck?
That is correct.
I went and
yes.
checked, I know. But, how did you come upon that? Did you make it yourself?
No, actually, we found it. We found it in a cave littered with several others.
Okay, roll a deception and manipulation. Or subterfuge
here
and
we go.
manipulation. Really? Huh.
Here, what is my manipulation and my subterfuge? Wonderful. Okay, I did browse for that. We checked. We good. We don't get hungry. Oh, and I get 2 more tonight. Actually, never mind. I get more than 2. All right.
You can always browse.
I did.
Perfect.
I got 6 successes.
Okay, let me roll. Oh, you barely beat her. She believes you. Right. Curious how you managed to subdue that. The elevator dings, and there's another woman who looks very similar to the one in the elevator with you. And she says, this is my sister. And her sister says, greetings. And the two of them are both very similarly shaped, but the one in the elevator is wearing clothes to accentuate, where the other sister is wearing a more muted style of, like, modest dress. She's quite pretty still. And they lead you to another set of doors that open into darkness. But before the doors get fully open, she turns and says, "Oh, I'm being incredibly rude. I'm sorry. Could I get all of your names? I know I have Artemis Azriel, but I didn't stop at the Congier for the rest of you." Looking for Mori to Mia.
Sorry. Mori does a slight bow and says, Morrigan Ode.
Robbie just says, "I'm dynamite," and she says, "Of course you are."
You may call me Aurora, ma'am.
Right. And with a large smile, she says, "Well, my name is Brooklyn, and this is my sister Chansey." And we're gonna end there for tonight.
Woo!
Damn. Oh, God.